Did you know you could take this little cotton ball, unravel it, break it into little pieces, throw those pieces into an ice cube tray, fill that ice cube tray with water, chuck that tray in the freezer, and after about an hour, your ice is ready. And then throw them into your Yeti. The addition of cotton and ice preparation creates a more cohesive internal structure, which creates an effect called composite, meaning that the water and the ice keep their properties individually, allowing the ice to last up to 3 days. The cotton creates a protective structure all around, preventing the heat from the environment from reaching it. So we've got no room for this, and we gotta pack all this. Old Bay, because it's a classic, old school mixture of spices, packs down nice and small. Keen's dry mustard, much larger in comparison, so we've packed it down to a more malleable little bag. We're not gonna take all of these, obviously, we don't have room. Normally we would be vacuum sealing these, but because it's a quick overnight 1 day run, not really necessary. But obviously, zip it, almost closed. Try and get as much air out as possible. You can roll it up nice and tight. It doesn't really matter. For all you set deck and props chumps out there, good old goodie ties. Prawns, we got plans. Just me, so we're not gonna need all of these. Transfer to separate Ziploc. Get that air out of there. You're gonna want to plan pack your little cylindrical Yeti cooler. One on the bottom, a couple on the sides. Get your shrimp in there. Throw it in the freezer. Let it sit for overnight. We're only on an overnight, so you can pick up one of these 2 egg carriers on Amazon. Check the link in the description for a lot of this stuff. Unwashed farm eggs, because when they're unwashed, they have that birth coating. Makes them last longer, keeps them fresh. We're dealing with this. So let's do this. When dealing with tying down your bike, save yourself some trucker hitch time and pick up some of these from Amazon from the description link.
We got you.
And a quick brunch stop on the way.
And then shipping is like an extra $40, and I'm like, I'm not spending $80.
And we'll go again. What you want to do is make sure you're intoxicated enough that you end up putting your Yeti cylindrical cooler right by your exhaust. so that it ends up cooked by the time you reach your destination. You're a tight squeeze. A good 57 kilometers up the Ross Lake FSR. Managed to ditch a park operator and go down a trail and find this creek. Ross Lake being dammed from the US side, finding our way to not be dammed. As I mentioned in other videos, hopping freight, you learn to pack pretty light. Some tricks around things, and you manage to get enough stuff here to make some pretty decent meals. Built for use as a water carrier, as mentioned, makes a wonderful little cylindrical, nicely packed cooler. In this case, let's see how it worked as a boiler. Water's still cold and slightly pinked. Sausage still cold, so coming out of the freezer as a boiler actually did exactly what it needed to. Cotton reduced to water, though cold water at that. Unfortunately, BC's locked into a fire ban, so we're reduced to a little bit of butane. Good thing to know about ramen noodles is that once your pot boils over, they're ready. As you can see, our prawns are already pinked, pretty much, so the Yeti operating as a boiler behind the exhaust pretty much did our job for us. But they could probably use a little bit more time in some hot water. Don't worry, the sand's nothing more than a bonus. Our eggs didn't quite make it, but we're gonna add whatever we have. You're obviously gonna eat this however you want. You bunch of freaks, but I prefer mine a little less soupy. A bit of a camp hack I learned from Fox TV, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jake over there. Take a bit of your ramen, uncooked, drop it on top to give it that little extra added crunch. Throw down a little bit of Old Bay. And don't forget your packet spices. Or you could just pack yourself in. Marie.
Happy birthday to you.
We don't have licensing for this song, so we're gonna get out of the frame here.
Far too tranquil to not include, but stick around, we still got some sausages to cook. Too many more cross dissolves or additive dissolves, and I think they'll probably revoke my YouTube license.
Bugs bugging, freshwater driftwood. Makes for a good smudge. Just make sure it's not its salty cousin. That shit's toxic.
So out of ice, we've kept this in the creek overnight to keep it cool. We're just gonna take and cut this sausage in half to cut down on cook time. Make some sausage balls. There is probably enough oil in the sausage, but we've gone and put together this little squeeze bottle of olive oil. Once your oil's nice and hot, a lot of time with these butane burners, your balance can be a little bit off. You probably carry one anyway, but feel free to use your multi-tool. You're going to want to start on your mustard, which we've transferred from our original container into this plastic bag, just to make it more malleable and conserve space. Toss in a bit of your mustard powder into your receptacle, add a bit of water, and stir it up. Big bonus if you know how to use chopsticks. Saves on utensil cleanup time and packing space. Gonna want to maintain a pasty consistency. The longer you mix this stuff up, the hotter the mustard you're gonna get. Tree bark is protein, right? Let's check on our sausage. And in my case, in my little setup, the mustard tray can also be used as a plate. So good, crispy. A little hot though. For cleanup, either pine or cedar boughs. And creek water. Just a preliminary cleanup. We'll do the rest of this when we get back to the cabin. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Then you lose the sight glass. Replace it with a wooden plug. Get covered in oil.